Well, good morning, Rabbi. And we are headed into the third week of our latest conflict because it's not a war, it's a conflict in Iran. And now the it's going to be over in a couple of days. It's changed to it's going to be over in 4 weeks, and now it might go on for months, but it could be over in a day. But the thing that I find most alarming in terms of news is they're sending in the Marines. What does that mean?
I love the idea of sending in the Marines because, in terms of our history and in combat, when things aren't going the way we want them to go, you send in the Marines. Look at the Pacific. You send in the Marines, and they went island by island. They even were sent to an island that didn't have water. And then the Navy started delivering water in oil drums that no one bothered to clean out. Yet the Marines took the island. Send in the Marines, Joe. They're going to rescue us.
But this sort of like proves my point from our last conversation that without a ground force occupying territory, you can't have a regime change. And I think what we're seeing is that the current president, God forgive me, is agreeing with me. We can't change the regime without taking over the country. And that is not going to be a quick process.
Something had to be done because Iran has its surrogates in Hamas, in Hezbollah, and in Yemen. And they're bombing, killing, murdering, and the regime itself is killing its own people. So I agree with President Trump. Something had to be done. And the idea was, well, mass bombings and blowing things up. The problem is it wasn't well thought out what's to be done step by step. And now we're caught in a quagmire because something did have to be done. And President Trump took the initiative, but he didn't think it through. He didn't even listen to his own generals and see what they had to say is, would it have to come down to boots on the ground? And maybe if that was the only way, something else could have been discovered. But Joe, something had to be done to stop Hezbollah and to stop Hamas and to stop what's going on in Yemen.
Yes, something had to be done, but I don't think this is going to work. I'm really concerned that all this effort is going to go on for quite a while. A lot of innocent people are going to die. A lot of our soldiers are going to die. And there's not going to be a solution at the end of it. It's going to be like Vietnam. We didn't, those of you who are listening remember Vietnam, how we won that war, except we didn't. And we spent a lot of time there fighting the evil empire from the north and the west, and it didn't come to anything. Just a lot of people were killed.
The Iran has now turned on its fellow Arab countries. And I think therein lies the key. The Arab countries in the Middle East now have to look at each other and say, Iran is our enemy too. And we are now going to join, and we're not going to have an office for Hamas or Hezbollah in our country. We're not going to hide behind anything. The Arab countries in the Middle East have to realize that Iran's bombing them, Iran's sending missiles. There's no question that, and to say that Iran's doing it because these Arab countries are helping America is hiding behind the skirt. Don't do that, Arab countries. Iran is your enemy as well. It's time for you to join in and use your resources, use your economies to stop Iran and to have a regime, to have change of the regime. And that will end it, Joe. Once Iran realizes that it's not going to get away with sending missiles to fellow Arab countries, it's going to pull back, and the Arab world can stop this because they have to realize that Iran is their enemy.
Well, is it the Arab world or the Muslim world? Would if Pakistan came in and said, "We're Iran, we're going to start bombing you as well," but isn't there no religious leverage that could be taken to stop?
I, there may be some religious leverage, but they have to use it. Look, Afghanistan it now has war with Pakistan. It's not just border skirmishes. There's a war going on. So there is no question that there is within the Muslim world two distinct groups. And Iran, Afghanistan represent one group, and Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Bahrain, all the others represent another group. And it's time to band together and draw the line. And whatever the resources might be, maybe there won't be weapons, maybe there won't be killing. However, the Muslim countries now have to say, Iran, you attacked us. And it's not because there's a military base here. You're attacking another sovereign country. And you have to stop, and we're going to stop you.
Well, I sure hope you're right, Rabbi. I'm not sure that that is exactly the scenario we'll follow, but it's a lot better than the one that I'm envisioning, where a lot of warfare goes on for a long time without any resolution.
And sending in the Marines to open up the Gulf, to open up the Straits of Hormuz, and then having more and more troops, and then sending troops into Iran itself, that's just going to keep us turning into another Afghanistan, another Vietnam. But what will turn this around are the other Muslim countries saying to Iran, we're done with you. Cut it out.